I have been a cynic for as long as I can remember. Everyone's always asking me to believe in things: family, gods, kings, myself. It was often tempting until I saw where belief got people, so I said no thank you to belief. And yet, here I am. I believe in you. Tyrion Lannister says this to Daenerys Targaryen in Season 6, Episode 10. She's just named him Hand of the Queen. She's pinned the brooch to his chest. And Tyrion, the man who spent his entire life being cynical, skeptical, and survival-focused, is overcome with emotion. Because for the first time in his life, someone has given him what he deserves. Not what his family name entitles him to, not what political necessity demands, but what his intelligence, his strategic genius, his actual merit has earned. And in this moment, as he stands before Daenerys, finally recognized for who he truly is, Tyrion does something he's never done before. He believes. This is the scene that proves Tyrion controlled the game. Not because he's gained power or position, though he has, but because he's done something that no one else in Game of Thrones ever manages. He's found meaning. In a show where everyone plays for power, wealth, survival, revenge, Tyrion has found something worth actually believing in, and that makes him the most dangerous player in Westeros. Look at this. Over 99% of you watching are not subscribed. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and support the channel. It really helps me grow. Let's understand what Tyrion means when he calls himself a cynic. He's not exaggerating. He's been cynical for as long as we've known him. In Season 1, when Jon Snow is all honor and idealism, Tyrion tells him, "Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you." That's not advice from someone who believes in noble causes. That's survival wisdom from someone who's learned that the world is cruel, and you can't trust anyone to treat you fairly. When he was younger, Tyrion believed his father might one day respect him. That belief was crushed repeatedly. He believed his sister might care for him as family. That belief was answered with hatred and murder attempts. He believed he could find love. He married Tysha, a crofter's daughter. He was happy. He believed she loved him. Then his father told him she was a prostitute paid to pretend, made Tyrion watch as his father's guards raped her, destroyed that belief utterly and completely. Later, Tyrion learned the truth. Tysha wasn't a prostitute. She really did love him. His father lied. And by then, it was too late. She was gone. The one real thing in his life destroyed because his father wanted to teach him not to believe. He believed he could earn respect through service. He was Hand of the King. He saved King's Landing from Stannis during the Battle of the Blackwater. He was brilliant, effective, strategic. And what did he get? His father took credit. Tyrion was demoted, forgotten, dismissed as if he'd done nothing. He believed in justice. When he was accused of murdering Joffrey, he demanded a trial by combat. He believed the truth would matter, that innocence would be rewarded. But Oberyn Martell, his champion, lost, and Tyrion realized that justice is just another lie people tell themselves. Every time Tyrion believed in something, family, love, service, justice, he was punished for it. So he stopped believing. He became cynical, skeptical. He trusted only himself and his intelligence. He played the game for survival, not for a higher purpose.
And that cynicism kept him alive. It made him sharp. It made him dangerous. But it also made him empty. Tyrion says, "Everyone's always asking me to believe in things." This is true. Throughout the show, people are constantly trying to get Tyrion to believe. His father wanted him to believe in House Lannister, in family legacy, in duty to the family name. But Tyrion saw what House Lannister really was: his father's cruelty, his sister's madness, his nephew's sadism. How could he believe in that? The High Sparrow wanted him to believe in the gods, in divine justice, in the Seven's plan. But Tyrion saw religion used as a weapon, used to oppress and control, used to justify cruelty in the name of righteousness. Joffrey, Tommen, the kings he served, wanted him to believe in their authority, in the divine right of kings, in the legitimacy of their rule. But Tyrion knew better than anyone that kings are just people, often cruel or weak or stupid people who happen to be born into power. Even Varys, his friend and ally, wanted him to believe. Varys believed in the realm, in serving the people, in finding the right ruler for Westeros. And Tyrion understood the appeal, but he'd seen too many people claim to serve the realm while really serving themselves. Most importantly, people wanted Tyrion to believe in himself, to believe he was worthy of respect despite his appearance, to believe he deserved love despite his family's contempt, to believe he could be something more than the family disappointment. And this was the most dangerous belief of all. Because every time Tyrion believed in himself, every time he thought he'd earned respect or proven his worth, the world reminded him otherwise. He saved King's Landing? No recognition. He tried to rule justly? Accused of murder. He thought someone loved him? She was taken away. So Tyrion said, no thank you to belief. Not out of laziness or cowardice, but out of wisdom earned through pain. He saw where belief got people. It got them killed. It got them betrayed. It got them hurt. Belief is a luxury that Tyrion couldn't afford. Here's what makes Tyrion's cynicism interesting. It actually works.
In Game of Thrones, the idealists die. Ned Stark believes in honor, executed. Robb Stark believes in justice, murdered. Oberyn Martell believes in vengeance, skull-crushed. The believers die. The cynics survive. Littlefinger believes in nothing except his own advancement. He thrives for 6 seasons. Varys believes only in pragmatic outcomes. He survives regime after regime. And Tyrion, through pure cynicism and intelligence, survives when everyone wants him dead. His cynicism makes him see clearly. He's not blinded by ideology or loyalty or honor. He sees people as they really are, not as they pretend to be. When Joffrey is crowned king, everyone pretends he'll be a great ruler. Tyrion sees immediately that he's a sadistic monster who needs to be controlled. When his father returns to King's Landing, everyone fears and respects Tywin. Tyrion sees that his father is cruel, calculating, and fundamentally limited by his inability to see value in anything except power. When Cersei plots and schemes, everyone either fears her or dismisses her. Tyrion sees that she's intelligent but short-sighted, powerful but self-destructive. His cynicism is a superpower. It lets him read people perfectly, predict their actions, understand their weaknesses, navigate dangerous situations that would kill an idealist. But it's also a prison, because cynicism without belief is just survival without purpose. It's staying alive without having a reason to be alive. Tyrion survives, but for what? What's he actually trying to achieve? What does he want his life to mean? For most of the show, Tyrion doesn't have an answer. He's just playing the game because the alternative is death. Until he meets Daenerys. When Tyrion first meets Daenerys in Season 5, he doesn't believe in her. He's curious, interested, impressed with what she's accomplished, but belief? No, he's too cynical for that. He sees her as another player in the game. Powerful, yes, potentially useful to him, certainly, but not someone to believe in. And then he starts working for her. He watches her try to rule Meereen. He sees her struggle with impossible decisions. He watches her try to be just and merciful while also being strong.
He sees her genuinely care about the people she's freed, not as a political calculation, though it is that too, but as a real moral commitment. She's trying to break the wheel, not just win the game, but change it fundamentally. Create something better than the endless cycle of violence and oppression that defines Westerosi politics. And slowly, against all his instincts, against all his experience, against his lifelong cynicism, Tyrion starts to believe. Not because she's perfect, she's not. She makes mistakes. She's sometimes too harsh, sometimes too idealistic. She struggles with the complexities of power. But she's trying. She's genuinely trying to be better than the tyrants and usurpers who came before. And that's something Tyrion has never seen before. His father didn't try to be just, he tried to be feared. Joffrey didn't try to be a good king, he tried to hurt people who couldn't fight back. Cersei doesn't try to build a better world, she tries to survive and destroy her enemies. But Daenerys, she's actually trying to create something better, trying to build a world where people don't have to be slaves, where power serves justice instead of just perpetuating itself. It's not perfect. It's messy and complicated and full of compromises, but it's real. It's genuine. It's worth something. And for the first time in his life, Tyrion finds something worth believing in. Watch Tyrion's arc across Season 6. At the beginning, he's still playing it cynical. He's helping Daenerys, yes, but he's keeping emotional distance. He's being strategic, not idealistic. When Daenerys leaves Meereen to deal with the Dothraki, Tyrion is left in charge, and he has to actually govern. He makes deals with the slave masters. He tries to be pragmatic, to find compromise solutions. He uses his intelligence to navigate impossible political situations. And it doesn't work. The masters betray him. The Sons of the Harpy continue their attacks. The city descends into chaos. Tyrion realizes something crucial. Cynicism isn't enough. Intelligence isn't enough. You can't just be smart and strategic. You need to actually stand for something. The slave masters don't respect pragmatism. They respect power and conviction. Daenerys succeeded where Tyrion failed because she believed in something absolutely: freedom. No compromises, no deals with slavers, just complete, unambiguous commitment to her principles. When Daenerys returns to Meereen, Tyrion expects to be dismissed. He failed. He made deals that backfired. He let the city fall into crisis. But Daenerys doesn't dismiss him. She recognizes that he was trying to govern in an impossible situation, that he was doing his best with limited options, that his failure doesn't erase his value. And then she does something that no one in Tyrion's life has ever done. She promotes him, not despite his failure, but because of what his efforts revealed, his loyalty, his intelligence, his genuine commitment to trying to make things better. She names him Hand of the Queen. And Tyrion, the cynic, the skeptic, the man who said no to belief, breaks. The scene itself is perfect. Daenerys pins the Hand of the Queen brooch to Tyrion's chest. It's a simple gesture, a piece of jewelry, a symbol of office. But for Tyrion, it means everything. He was Hand of the King before. He wore that brooch under Joffrey. He did the job brilliantly. Saved the city, managed the realm, navigated impossible political situations. And what recognition did he get? None. His father took the position, took the credit, dismissed Tyrion as if he'd done nothing. The brooch was taken from him. His service was erased. His worth was denied. Now Daenerys is giving it back. Not the same brooch. This is Hand of the Queen, not Hand of the King. But the recognition, the respect, the acknowledgement that he deserves this position. And she's doing it for the right reasons. Not because he's family. He's not. Not because of political necessity. She has other options. But because he's earned it. Because he's proven his intelligence, his loyalty, his strategic value. Because she actually sees him, not as a dwarf or a Lannister or a disappointment, but as Tyrion, brilliant, capable, worthy of respect. Watch Tyrion's face during this scene. Peter Dinklage is phenomenal. You can see everything Tyrion is feeling without a word being spoken.
There's surprise. She's actually doing this. She's actually giving him this position. There's gratitude, someone finally recognizing his worth. There's vulnerability. He's letting himself feel this, letting himself be moved by recognition. And there's something else, something deeper. Hope. For the first time in his entire life, Tyrion has hope that maybe, just maybe, things can actually be better. The beauty of Tyrion's speech is in those 4 words, and yet here I am. There's so much packed into that simple phrase. First, there's acknowledgement of the contradiction. Tyrion is aware of what he's doing. He knows he's going against everything he believed, or rather everything he refused to believe.
He's not pretending this is consistent with his cynicism. He's admitting that something fundamental has changed. Second, there's wonder. Here I am, standing before a queen, wearing the hand's brooch, actually believing in something. After everything he's been through, after all the pain and betrayal and disappointment, he somehow ended up in a place where belief is possible again. Third, there's commitment. Here I am isn't just a statement of location, it's a declaration of presence, of choice, of engagement. He's choosing to be here, choosing to serve, choosing to believe. And fourth, most importantly, there's vulnerability. Tyrion is admitting that his cynicism was armor, protection against being hurt again, and he's taking that armor off. He's making himself vulnerable by believing. He's opening himself up to the possibility of disappointment, of betrayal, of having his hope crushed again. That takes more courage than anything else he's done. Surviving King's Landing? That took intelligence. Escaping execution? That took desperation. But choosing to believe after everything he's experienced? That takes real courage. Because belief means risk. It means caring about something enough that losing it would hurt. It means having hope, which means having something to lose. Tyrion is choosing hope over safety, purpose over survival, meaning over cynicism. And in doing so, he's choosing to actually live instead of just staying alive. The final words of Tyrion's speech are the most important. I believe in you. Not I believe in your cause, not I believe you'll win, not even I believe you're the rightful queen. I believe in you. This is personal.
This is about Daenerys as a person, not as a political figure or a strategic asset. Tyrion believes that she is someone worth following, someone worth serving, someone who can actually create something better than the endless cycle of violence and oppression. And notice what he's not saying. He's not saying she's perfect. He's not saying she'll never make mistakes. He's not saying she's guaranteed to succeed. He's just saying, I believe in you. Belief isn't about certainty. It's about commitment despite uncertainty. It's about choosing to trust and hope and engage, even knowing you might be disappointed. For Tyrion, who has been disappointed by everyone who ever asked him to believe, this is revolutionary. He's not just serving Daenerys. He's not just helping her because it's his best option for survival or advancement. He actually believes in her, in who she is, in what she's trying to do, in her potential to be the ruler Westeros needs. And that belief transforms him. Because now he's not just playing the game to survive. He's playing to win, to build, to create something worth fighting for. Now his intelligence has purpose, his strategic genius has direction, his cynicism has been tempered by hope, and that makes him more dangerous than ever. Here's the crucial insight. Tyrion with belief is more powerful than Tyrion without it. When Tyrion was purely cynical, he was surviving. He was smart, strategic, capable of navigating any situation, but he was also limited. He couldn't inspire people. He couldn't build movements. He couldn't create loyalty beyond calculation and fear, because cynicism is defensive. It's protective. It keeps you alive, but it doesn't let you actually achieve anything meaningful. But Tyrion with belief? That's different. Now he has all his intelligence and strategic genius, but directed toward a purpose. He's not just surviving, he's building. He was right to be cynical. His cynicism was earned through pain. Every time he believed, he was hurt. And then, finally, he finds someone worth believing in. He takes off his armor. He allows himself hope. And Daenerys, the person he believed in, ultimately becomes exactly what she was fighting against: a tyrant, a burner of cities, someone who has to be stopped. In Season 8, Tyrion watches as the person he believed in burns King's Landing, murders hundreds of thousands of innocent people, becomes the Mad Queen, and he has to face the most painful realization of his life. His belief was misplaced, not because Daenerys was lying or manipulating him, but because power corrupted her, because trauma and loss pushed her toward darkness, because the world broke something in her. This is devastating for Tyrion. It confirms everything his cynicism taught him. Belief leads to pain, hope leads to disappointment, trust leads to betrayal.
He was right all along to be cynical, and the one time he chose to believe, it ended in tragedy. But here's what makes Tyrion's story so powerful. Even after being proven right, even after his belief in Daenerys leads to disaster, he doesn't return to pure cynicism. In the final episode, when the lords and ladies gather to decide Westeros' future, Tyrion doesn't just try to survive. He doesn't just look out for himself. He makes a speech. He nominates Bran as king. He argues for a better system, a different way of choosing rulers. He's still trying, still believing that things can be better, still working towards something meaningful. His belief in Daenerys was crushed, but his capacity for belief, his willingness to hope and fight for something better, survived. And that's the real victory. It's a genuine assessment from someone who knows exactly how rare and valuable real leadership is, from someone who has seen every kind of ruler and understands the difference between those who seek power for its own sake and those who seek it to build something better. Tyrion's belief is the belief of someone who knows how hard it is to find something worth believing in, and that makes it powerful. When Daenerys hears him say those words, she knows they're real. She knows this isn't flattery or political calculation. Tyrion doesn't do empty gestures. She's receiving genuine loyalty from someone who doesn't give it easily, genuine respect from someone who sees through everyone's bullshit, genuine hope from someone who has every reason to be hopeless. Tyrion spent his entire life being asked to believe in things that didn't deserve his belief, family that rejected him, gods that ignored him, kings that used him, a system that despised him. He was right to say no to all of that. His cynicism was wisdom, not weakness. But then he found something, someone who actually deserved belief, who earned it through actions, through genuine commitment to creating something better. And he chose to believe. That choice, to remain cynical about most things, but to allow himself hope about one thing, is what makes Tyrion the most powerful player in the game. Because he has both the sharp intelligence of the cynic and the transformative power of the believer. He can see clearly without being paralyzed by cynicism. He can hope without being blinded by naivety. He can believe without losing his edge. And that combination, cynicism tempered by earned belief, is the most dangerous force in Westeros. When Daenerys pins that brooch to his chest, she's not just naming him Hand of the Queen, she's acknowledging that he's the one person who truly sees her, who understands what she's trying to do, who believes in her potential not because of destiny or birthright, but because of who she actually is. And Tyrion, standing there with tears in his eyes, is experiencing something he's never felt before. Recognition, respect, purpose, hope. After a lifetime of being dismissed, rejected, underestimated, and betrayed, someone finally sees his worth and gives him a reason to believe. That's not just surviving the game, that's winning it. Not by gaining power, not by destroying enemies, not by sitting on a throne, but by finding meaning, by discovering purpose, by choosing to believe in something worth believing in. The dwarf everyone underestimated, the cynic everyone dismissed, the Lannister everyone rejected. He became Hand of the Queen, architect of alliances, builder of the greatest invasion force in history. Not through force, not through birthright, not through manipulation, but through intelligence, integrity, and the courage to believe despite knowing the cost. And yet, here I am. 4 words that changed everything. 4 words that proved Tyrion Lannister didn't just play the game, he transcended it. And that's what it means to truly control the game.